sky. Well, you cry out and you don't know why. Come on now, let your feet fly. Come on now, let's go for a ride. Come on now, let your feet fly. Oh, let it fly. Come on, come on.
Go! Hey everybody, welcome back to the Red Couch. I'm Ash Wednesday,
I'm Izzy Dakota Jones, and this is
Joni Miller.
Miller.
right here from what band?
Joni Miller and the Usual Suspects.
Yes!
Yes, I like that name actually.
But I've played with various bands.
I know Bonnie and I have, hi Bonnie, we've seen you a lot.
Oh, really? Wow.
At the print. She's the one with super long hair who dances like all night long.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we're fans. We're big fans.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's,
So before we get too far, who's the karaoke queen?
well, he's still back in Armstrong.
Oh, it's a he!
Yeah.
Oh!
And when I last saw him, he was working at the chicken factory, catching chickens.
So that's pretty good for her. Him?
Yeah, well, that didn't sound like a good job to me, but the karaoke is shut down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, as happens, the bar went through different owners, and all the fun we used to have back in the day is not happening.
We, Bonnie and I anyway, sit there and go, who is it? Who's the karaoke queen?
I have pictures of the karaoke queen, and I have video of the karaoke queen.
Bonnie,
I didn't know it was
it's
going
a
to be a
dude.
question.
There you go.
Okay, let's get started.
Yeah, okay, let's get started.
Okay, so you've been playing for a few years now. You're playing bass, right? You play bass and sing.
Bass is my main instrument.
Yeah, and you do singing song. You guys songwrite too, of course.
I write songs.
Yeah, and
We have a couple of albums that we've put out.
good. And is the style all in kind of the blues format, jazzy blues stuff, or how would you describe what your music is, and where maybe you can let us know that and where your influences are?
Well, we like to mix it up. I'm deeply inspired by the blues, but I started off playing classical piano.
Oh wow!
As a kid, and Bach and Beethoven and all of that, and thought that there would be a future as a concert pianist. And then the Beatles happened.
Yeah.
And then the Rolling Stones happened.
We've heard this story before.
And I'm like, oh, get me a guitar.
Yeah.
So, I also remember as a teenager there was a late night show on the CBC called The Crossroads.
Oh yeah.
And I listened to that show, when I couldn't sleep for, various reasons. And was always very inspired by that.
So it's a blues show.
Yeah, it was a blues show.
Yeah, it was a very good show. Yeah.
And very inspired by people like John Prine and Bob Dylan and Joni Mitchell and Leonard Cohen, people with words.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people with words.
Poets,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, musical poets.
Yeah. So we do a bit of everything. Very influenced by Latin as well.
Yeah, I've noticed that in your music, too.
Yeah,
It's super fun dancing
Latin
night.
jazz. Oh, that's so good
For
me.
us, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
And the band's good, and Jody's
The
good. I mean,
band's
there's
hot.
nothing that I don't, when I've seen the band, there's nothing that I don't like.
Same.
And serious, Jody, when the minute you see it, as musicians, we all come to expect it right away. Oh, like, these guys are good. You know what I mean? When you go and watch somebody, oh, this is good. I feel good. This is good, And that's what I get out of watching your shows.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I've been playing with Reno, the keyboard player, and I go back more than 20 years.
Wow, good.
Sweet.
And he's got an education. He went through jazz school. He also teaches. He's got all of that stuff. Amrit Bassi, my longtime drummer, he's got a long history. He played with I forget their names. Anyway, he's played with a lot of people, and He's just, he's tuned in.
Right,
You know,
right.
I feel like we're really communicating
That's a good thing.
when we're playing.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
comes across live too.
It does, it does,
Right,
it does,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, it comes, you're right about that, it comes across and there's a, and then I think in that, there's a tightness in the band, right? When you watch, listen to the
Yeah.
band play, it's tight, you know, like it's,
Yeah.
you can hear the parts and they're all moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
And the song sounds good. And all kinds of, like she's saying, like all different styles of songs. I remember I watched you one time in the summertime out here, and you did, I think it was a Beatles song, I think you did Come Together.
Yep.
And it was a great version of it. It was really cool. I was like, I went, this is really cool. This is different, and it's so well done. I like it a lot. Right?
Are they good? The Beatles?
Yeah,
They
are
put out a couple records.
I've heard of
They
it.
had some
New wave, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
missed a bit of that.
New wave, old wave.
The haircuts, yeah.
Haircuts.
They're the Stones.
Yeah, we like to, play some of their songs to give the guys a boost,
I love it when you go, like I love to go and watch, obviously, go and see bands who are playing their own stuff. But when they kick in a cover every once in a while, it's like, oh yeah, right. And the way that the band will twist it, and you know what I mean? I love that.
Yeah, that it makes it so you're not copying it, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Because that's so, like people think back in the early days that was like, maybe about 20 years ago, not since the early days, but 20 years ago, that was a thing to do through like Feldman and stuff in the bar circuit in Vancouver to actually cover the song and make the song, you were copying the artist. And nobody actually really did that. No matter how hard they tried, nobody sounded like that.
But also the real artists wouldn't play it the same way 30 years later.
Yeah.
There's no chance they would play it the same as
Like,
the real.
what was that cover that Stones cover Streetheart did?
They did Under My Thumb.
Yeah, I thought that was brilliant, man.
Yeah, it was smart. They did it their
Yeah,
way.
they covered
They
the
took it,
Stones,
they took
that's
it.
a
They
big
probably
move.
thought like that. Okay, we're going to change it because it's that many more years later,
Mhm.
and we're going to play it the way we would feel at this time period, right? Yeah. That's good. So, are you recording right now? At all? Are you writing? What's up with you on that side of it too?
Not recording right now. We put out an album in 2023.
Right.
I'm always writing or rehashing old stuff.
What's that record called? Where does everybody find that?
It's called All Just Talk.
Jody's prepared. I love it. Yeah, make sure they all get that.
Everybody got that?
You can find it on all the streaming places, on
Yep.
CD Baby and Spotify
CD
and
Baby's good.
Reverb Nation
Yeah.
and
Spotify's good, but Spotify's also like, nobody's getting paid, right?
Yeah.
Now, the thing is like the exposure you get. Like
Yeah.
CD Baby is really good.
Yeah.
CD Baby will put it all out on all the sites.
Oh, I
They
see.
license
Yeah.
for all the sites.
Yeah.
Because they were
And
in
that
the
is
game
that is
pretty early
brilliant.
too, right?
I mean, we were on like about through our label. They went through CD Baby, our label.
Oh, I see.
And you look on our list, it's like about 50 sites long.
Well, I listen to your radio a lot, that's a lot of
and I'm
radio.
going like, holy smoke, to read that off, and we do a little promo before we do a show, like, reading off our promo, we're going like, wow, I can't say that on 15 minutes. Like, it's a lot, and like when I heard you just say CD Baby, I just think, yeah, they're trying really hard to like help the artists get exposed at least, right? I don't think money's in the, like you're just saying, Ash, I don't think money's in it anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's the exposure of the music and
Yeah.
getting your art out to the people, What do you think?
Well, you find out, I look on my CD Baby sheet of,
Yes.
and I've never heard of this site,
Yeah, I know.
and somebody listened to my song,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
and I got 24 cents for it.
That's right. That's
What?
I know, 24 cents.
Yeah.
My tuna buns. These babies.
Yeah, it's interesting, but
It
I
is
mean,
interesting. It's also, it's weird. It's weird that the record companies who are ripping everyone off for so long, get pulled out of it just to get, that void is filled by another
Somebody else.
parasite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some other money people.
some other money people, it's all the same. Right?
Yeah.
It hasn't changed anything, right?
Isn't that
Really.
wild, eh?
Well, that's just the way the music's probably always been that way. When we're talking about the blues stuff, that that we all like and stuff, those guys got ripped off right, left,
I
and
bet
center.
Robert Johnson got 24 cents every once in a while.
Probably.
About 24 cents,
And you
actually.
know, the Motown guys, the guys
Yeah,
who played all those
right.
hits,
Yeah.
totally ripped off.
Oh,
Those guys are just
Played
paying.
hourly.
But,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
For these massive heard it through the grapevines or whatever.
Yeah.
it is, right?
Yeah, they played on them. Now you see documentaries on all those
Yeah.
type people, like all those
Yeah.
artists that are
In the shadow
that
of
in the shadows of Motown,
Yeah, that was a
or
really
in
good
the rock,
documentary.
that, like when we were talking, what were we talking, no, it wasn't you, I was talking last night to Paul, one of my guitar players at rehearsal, we were talking about, how they, about the documentaries that we're saying about all these people that make, on the record, we're on musicians that were on the records. You know, we're talking about the Los Angeles guys, when we're talking about yacht rock. That documentary on yacht rock and how,
Yeah, dude. All those guys.
Daryl Fagan and all those guys, right? You know,
Yeah.
and the guy phones up Daryl Fagan and goes, "Hey, I'm doing a documentary on yacht rock. What do you think about yacht rock?" And he goes, "Fuck you."
It's so good. Actually, that's on,
And the guy left it in there, right? It was so good.
it's on HBO.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that
If
was-
you guys haven't seen that, you should see that.
That was funny.
Even if
But-
you don't
but
like
it's all
yacht
LA,
rock, and
Jody,
you
it's all
should.
LA guys that are on were made like
Same as the
thousands of
Motown
albums.
dudes.
Yeah,
yeah.
made thousands of those albums. And you know, they did so much, like, and one guy says, oh, what's the guitar player for Toto? I forget his name. Anyways, he says, he goes, yacht rock. He goes, where's my yacht? He goes, I didn't get a yacht. That's interesting, yeah. But that's normal, right?
Yeah,
I think
I think
nowadays
so.
and that's what's happening. How do you find the city for gigging these days? It's a little tough still.
It's tough, you know.
Yeah.
Like I remember days when we played 5 nights a week.
Yes.
And now if I play a couple times a month, I'm like, okay, still in the game.
Yeah, right.
It's interesting, isn't it, how much that's changed in the last
Well,
while?
yeah, so many places.
Are gone.
There's a huge list
I
of
feel
places.
like, to me, it felt like when the town pump went.
Air came out of a lot of
And
places.
then the Fairview and
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Fairview was
the
a great.
Libra Room. I played at the Libra Room a
Oh,
lot
yes,
for
yeah.
3 years, and it's gone.
Yeah,
What about the Marine Club?
The Marine Club.
there's tons of them.
I
Yeah.
know.
There's
I
so
know.
many
It's
places.
outrageous. It's so crazy.
It's so crazy what has happened
Yeah.
in this city. Well, but not just this city, but there are certain cities that happens, and some not, or will stay musical cities, but maybe last a little bit
Yeah,
longer,
right.
but not too much. Like Toronto's still a fairly good music city,
It's
and
huge,
Montreal is too, and you know, they have that culture, so that's still going, right? And in the States, it's Los Angeles or New York, right? You know, but then there's
New Orleans.
New Orleans too, yes.
What was your
Yeah.
favorite room in the city, Joni?
My favorite room?
She gotta be careful. She says she's still getting it.
Princeton, all the way, 100%.
I've played at the Princeton since 2002.
I love it
I've
there.
probably
I love it there,
played
yeah.
Yeah,
there more.
everybody
The
loves it.
food's
more
good.
than,
Food's really good.
And, you know, they've stepped up. You know, as other venues shut down, they
Right.
started booking more
More.
music.
Yeah, like
And-
7 days a week, man.
That's as good about
You
that.
know, it takes
They're cool, yeah.
dedication on the part of an owner.
Yeah.
You know, like I remember this place in Salmon Arm that we used to play at called the Smokehouse. And the woman who ran it, Sylvia, she just loved the musicians, and anytime you came in, you know, she's got a cup of coffee for you. And she was getting old, and she wanted to pass the venue on to someone who would keep the live music.
Yeah.
And, you know, she held off for a couple of years, and then eventually someone just out and out lied to her and said, yeah, we'll keep the live music. And they had like 2 weeks, and then they shut it down, and,
Canned music, right?
yeah, or whatever, no music, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like
Baseball.
yeah, baseball. Speaking of the sports part. But yeah, that's interesting you say that. That's like I was talking to a lady, she might be watching it, Cora, I don't know if you know Cora. She runs a blues society.
Cora Price?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I talked to Cora the other day, and Cora, she nailed it. Like we were talking, she's so smart, and she said to me the other day, she says, you know, the problem is with the clubs. She goes, they don't promote the acts like they should, and they should be pushing the pushing not expecting the band to bring people in. Yes, the band should have followers, but the big thing is they should be promoting their entertainment in their bar. And she goes, and that's stopped.
You know what I
It used to be
think,
a
too?
lot, now it's stopped.
A big part of it for me, like on social
I
media.
think she's right.
We love you, social media, but I don't see those posters on the wall. I can't even find a copy of the Georgia Strait. I just realized, hey, Mike Blue Singer, that you have to get it sent to your email. I had no idea.
Well, the Georgia Strait is not the Georgia Strait anymore. I worked there back in the 80s, but
Did you
Oh,
work in?
nice.
Yeah.
I worked
So you
there
must-
under Charles Campbell, and last summer he held an old straight people's party.
That's funny.
Invited the people who worked there back in the day when, things really happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
That's where, what's his name used to be? Did you know Bob Geldof? Did you meet Bob?
no, I never met
Oh,
Bob.
okay. 'Cause
Oh, you should have lied about that.
But Bob Mercer. he
Yeah,
was
Bob
around in
Mercer,
those days,
yes,
yeah.
yes. Right on, very cool, very cool. Yeah, so, yeah, they don't, that's what.
That was the thing. That was the mover shaker. That's every Thursday. Oh,
Yeah,
what
you
are
knew
we
what was
doing this
going on in the
weekend?
city,
Oh,
yeah.
we're doing this. Then we're going here.
Yeah.
This.
It's also how you found bandmates, or you found,
Yes,
the classified ad section.
yeah. It was a good paper when it was really moving, it was.
When it was
Yeah.
a good paper.
I knew it when I was a little kid.
I think
in
that's
an
right
area
across the
where-
board. There's just no paper anymore.
Yeah.
I remember when it was a hippie paper, and I was like 10 years old, 11 years old, and a guy gave me a stack and said, sell them. And then the cops pulled me over and looked at it and go, you shouldn't be looking, doing deal with it, because they had lots of political satire about
Yeah,
it and
sure.
stuff, and it was cartoon based, right? But they didn't like it, and said they took it away. We're taking you home to your mom and dad. They know you read this stuff. You know? I'm like,
Meanwhile, Joe's running off to see Zeppelin.
I'm going like free press. Look after the free press.
Yeah, when I was a teenager back in Calgary, hearing about the Georgia Strait, I just wanted to come to Vancouver
Yeah,
and work there.
yeah.
And
And you
then
did.
And then I did, for a little while anyway.
Did you play music out in Alberta?
Well, I was, my cousin and I had an acoustic,
Oh, cool.
we played Led Zeppelin on acoustic guitars,
That's cool.
but
That's very cool.
we performed a couple of times.
Yeah. And you came out here, what, in the 80s? You were here in the 80s?
The 70s.
Oh, so you were at a good time. Yeah.
Where were you in Kits?
When I first came out, I first landed here as a teenager,
Me too.
saw the ocean and went, wow,
Yeah, right.
I want to live here. But I came to live in 77
Right.
and lived in East Van because
Yeah.
I could afford it.
Yeah, East Van's a good place. Lots
Yeah.
of good culture here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's changed quite a bit, but
Oh, yeah.
it's got a little, like the whole city, it's got a little rougher.
Still got a taste of what it was, though, too.
Yeah.
Still got a high concentration of creative people.
Art, yeah.
Yes,
sure.
Like-
yes.
That's
yeah.
what.
Yes, I agree.
When we opened this barber shop, that was the main thing for me. Is I don't want to lose it. I don't want to lose it all. All the stuff from when I was a kid, and all the, it was punk rock and art galleries and just all this madness all the time. And then, everything was on your telephone now.
Yeah, now it is.
I'm not super stoked about that.
No.
So come down here, sit on the couch like everyone else.
I mean, it's fun. It's fun, like now, like, there's not that many bars, but like we're saying, I think it's being appreciative of what's happening now.
So you're a teenager here during like DOA and Pointed Sticks and the Smiling Buddha and all that stuff.
Well, I was in my 20s when that was happening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you go down and put your toes in there?
Well, I was certainly very aware of DOA, but, in my early 20s, I was totally involved in the women's movement.
Oh, sweet, yeah.
So that's what I was doing.
That worked.
And when I got out of that, I'm like, okay, I've done my time, and now I'm
Yes.
going to be an artist.
Yeah. You gave and
I
then
gave,
and then
I
you
gave,
exactly. A lot of people do
and,
that. Yeah, they give to something and then then they say, okay, it's my turn.
Me too.
not
Us
my
too.
turn. Yeah, it's the same thing, like
Yeah.
you were doing when you worked down.
And you too.
Yeah, when I worked in a hospital, yeah. You end up giving for a while, and then it takes a lot out of you after a certain amount. And if you're creative like we are, it gets to the point where you go, okay, that's enough. I gotta be creative. I get that now. I got people chasing me to do. Oh, why don't you're retired? Why don't you come sit on the board of directors for this, or why don't you sit on the strata?
Yeah.
Got that today. And then I went like, like I need a break. You don't realize how long I've been giving back to people, and it's kind of like I don't mind it, but after a while I need some me time,
Yeah.
and that me time means music and doing stuff like this, communicating to people and talking
Oh,
to
yeah.
people. Yeah,
So fun.
that's the good part of it. That's what I mean. So now, like you said, your songwriting still. When you go through the process of songwriting, do you do that yourself, or how does that work for you? When you with your band, do you
Yeah,
communicate?
are you the king and you bring it in and go learn it? Or is
I'm the songwriter, I'm the instigator.
it feels like that when you're when we're watching you, it
Okay.
feels like you're kind of holding court. on
Yeah,
that thing,
and these are the words, this is the chord progression, but I don't tell my guys what to do.
That's cool, yeah.
That's very cool.
And because I completely trust their
Yes.
creativity.
You can feel that too.
Yeah.
For about 10 years, I lived and worked with a guy named Vince Eastman, who sadly passed away, but we wrote a lot of songs together,
Mm-hmm.
and I am still going through the catalog of
Wow.
things that
Of all
we
that stuff,
created
yeah.
together. Some of it was recorded.
I did a
some
gig
was
with you.
written
Do you
down.
remember the gig I did with you?
The place over on Kingsway.
No, I did the place with you, Arts Club.
Okay, oh, yeah.
I remember that's the
Like
first time
on
I met
Seymour
you.
or on Granville Island?
Granville Island, we
Okay.
did the art club, yeah. I played with Joni there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Was it a benefit or something?
It might have
I
been,
think
yes,
it was a
it was.
benefit
It
for
was a
something.
benefit for
Yeah.
something. You are right. I forgot
Yeah.
about that part.
I
Yeah.
played there with double pneumonia one time. Probably pretty good.
Yeah, I was there. I remember that. That's another venue I liked.
That was really nice.
Yeah.
Right on the water.
And it's cool, like, to take a thing like that that's built for theater, because I'm not sure if you call yourself rock and roll, but it feels like rock and roll when I go to see you.
Well, it's certainly one of the influences.
Yeah, all
You
right.
know, yeah.
To take a room that's built for one thing and turn it into another thing, and it also sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did sound good.
Yeah, it sounds
no,
great.
it makes it fun.
It was kind of funny when you would have to wait for the play to go on, and then when the play was over, you could see it. You can't put no noise between that, please. But yeah, I missed that place, the Arts Club. That's another venue that was.
Arts Club,
Especially in the
Seymour,
summer.
too, was cool.
Well, yeah, being right by the water is so beautiful.
Yeah, and in the summertime, you're right. And then the one on by the Queenie. Are you talking about the one?
Yeah,
by the
yeah,
Queenie?
on Seymour,
Okay, yeah, Seymour
That was
Street.
cool down there.
I've been in there too. That was a nice venue too.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Now you're starting. Now you guys make me ring a bell. I'm like, all these venues are gone.
I know.
Oh, it's just like, what
I
the
know,
hell
it's
happened?
staggering, man.
is
Although,
staggering.
it feels like the kids they're doing it. They're still on it.
still out
They're still
there.
into it.
People are still trying. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah.
The bottom line is,
Like
yeah.
Travis, my buddy Travis, I cut his hair today. He's playing bass, he's playing guitar, he's putting bands together. Like, they're doing it. He's
That's
17 years old. He's
All
doing
right.
it.
Hey.
Yeah, man.
Well, that's good. That's
It's not
good.
all just, like TikTok disco or whatever, right?
Yes.
There's a lot of kids out there who have that fire too. Like this kid I'm talking about.
I find that the young people I meet who are really serious about music listen to the same stuff that I did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And they know it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's like my kid too, my son, anyway, my daughter not so much, but they were all him and all his homies, they were all listening to hip hop and blah blah blah. And then one day I hear them and it's like, what are you guys listening to? Black Flag. Like they're listening to punk rock, like 80s punk rock. Like, what happened? And me and Mike from Janky Bangers from Super Cat Tattoos, his son and my son are buddies. And I said, what happened? And they just said, it's not real. Like all that stuff they were listening to before, it's not real. Then he knows Skinner and he know all that stuff that because I'm a good parent, I raised them correctly.
right.
Yeah, so he knows, all the good stuff as well, right? Stones,
Musical
Skinner.
influences.
Yeah, Pink Floyd, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even people that we probably all grew up listening to, like they listened to their parents' stuff too. Like
Oh, sure.
good jazz and stuff.
Well, yeah, my parents put some good stuff on the turntable, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. My dad loved jazz, so he would play a lot of jazz around the house, right? So Ella Fitzgerald and all that, Louis
Yeah,
Armstrong,
sure.
all that.
Oh, yeah,
all
my
the real-
parents played all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, and I did like it. Like when I was a kid, I remember we all used to watch like the Ed Sullivan Show when we were
Of
kids.
course.
You remember that? And Ed had like in the
Of course
beginning,
you watched Ed Sullivan.
he had like the best stuff on a Sunday. You could, and this is pre-Beatles, before the
Yeah,
show.
yeah, yeah, sure.
And there'd be like Louis Armstrong and Ella Fitzgerald and all these jazz people, Count Basie, and you'd watch all this, and I kind of liked it. It was very cool. And then the '50s stuff started, Elvis started coming in and all that, and then it got more interesting because now it's getting exciting. Now they're going crazy. Ed's letting the door open and it's coming in.
Only film them from the top.
I know. Yeah.
That's like we were talking about today when you were saying, like, well, there's nothing new in the whole wide world. Everything's just a little tweak anyway, and that sounds like that too.
It does. There is
They
a lot
take
of
all that stuff and just kind of just slightly twist it.
Yes.
Or like you're talking about, just slightly twist Robert Johnson, and then eventually you got Ella, and then you've got Elvis, and then you've got
Yeah.
Jagger, and then you've got
Zeppelin.
Zeppelin.
Right.
Yeah, you got all those
Zeppelin,
bands.
Stones, and
Yeah. You got all these people.
And
Yeah.
they took so much from the old blues guys.
Yeah,
Zeppelin
yeah.
sure
So
did.
much. They
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
did.
yeah.
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 Yeah, and that was out of respect, really. I mean, they might have took it to, they made gains in that, personal and financial gains, but I think they respected the music.
Like all those
Oh,
guys
totally.
did, man.
Yeah, I
Well,
read it.
Like the
lately
Clash
I've been
going
learning When the Levee Breaks, the
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin version.
Yes,
And if you go back to the Memphis Mini version,
Yes.
the original,
yeah,
you go, okay, a nice little song, but they took it and they exploded it.
yeah.
They just really gave
Made it bigger,
depth.
made it a lot of life.
But, it comes from a core of trauma and serious situations.
When you listen to, and some of the stuff too, though, if you listen to, like when we're talking about people, playing the old blues standards or jazz standards, another person, I know what I've noticed over the years too, like you'll listen to Led Zeppelin play Robert Plant do You Shook Me, Willie Dixon, and you hear it and you go like, wow, he's really belting. When you listen to Willie was doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just a different style of voice, and you go. Then you listen to the Doors, Jim Morrison sing "Backdoor Man," and I listen to, you put it both together. There's no difference in the attack on the
Yeah,
vocals.
right.
It's the same, and people think, oh no, that's Jim's song. Jim sang that his own way. No, that's Jim's
He
voice.
absorbed it.
Yeah, he absorbed that
Yeah.
voice and listened to the way Willie sang it with so much feeling. Right?
So like last night I was watching TV with the kids and they were talking about some show that they saw, and the intro or outro or whatever of this television show, and they sang it to me and they went, I'm going through changes.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, that's Sabbath. Like, no, it's not Sabbath. And they look it up and it's some hip hop guy or soul hip hop, like nouveau thing, brand new. It's like, no, that's a Sabbath cover. He's like, no, look, it's 2019. I said, look back. And I went, oh, it's 1972.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was right.
Yeah, of course you
Of
are.
course you
But
Because we're always
Because we're
right.
the dead.
Because we're always right.
yeah, well, that's true. but the truth of that though is see,
Simple we are.
I'm cool with being wrong too.
Yeah.
I'm really cool with it.
well, as it says, that's true. But see, to like your kids, there listening to the music now.
Yeah.
It for them that song is the statement for now.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, when
and it moves them the way it moved us.
yes,
Yeah.
it does. It's because it's the same message.
Yeah.
It's the same message in the
yeah.
same song.
Yeah, and they're going through changes or whatever it is. It was that last
Yeah,
night.
yeah.
And that's all pretty moving too.
Yeah, and then there's, that's like when I've watched Joni play, or even Patty's band, Highway 7, they'll play like the Beatles song, and they do come together too. And they did it one time, and all the young people in the bar went nuts at the Rinse. They all went, and Patty's like, what? And I says, well, because they don't hear that stuff all the time, these kids, right? And so when they hear a classic that takes them back to maybe when they heard it the first time, I says, might be sitting with their parents or someone, or out with their their family somewhere, or their dad puts it on the record, puts the record on. I says, it takes them back. They get excited. I says, they go back to that. It brings them back to that point in time. And I think that's what music does. It kind of gives you that feeling of taking.
It's one of the last connections to memory, like people who are going through dementia.
Yes.
It's one of the last things that they hang on to. They'll remember a song.
Yeah. That's so true. That's true, and I think that's. I think
a bunch of people doing that right now.
Yeah, and I think that's
going through dementia.
Yeah.
Well.
We all do.
Yeah, and I think that's so true, and I think that has to do also with the feelings, like we're saying, it takes you to a place in time when you'll remember something, and it spontaneously you start feeling and thinking those things.
It's like me and Bonnie, we're cruising around, and we're just howling at the top of our lungs in the car. Some Foreigner song or Boston or something. I didn't have that record.
No,
but
you hear the
it's
song.
so
It's
deep
still in your
and
head,
you've got
yeah.
it so deep in.
Yeah.
So when Joni, when you say that's one of the for sure, because that's what deep in your heart.
It is,
right?
yeah.
It is, and it makes a lot of sense too, doesn't it?
Because I talk about it. We talk about it. Bonnie and I talk about it all the time. Like, what is it? Music, what is it? It's so powerful, man, and it's so important to everybody. Like, really, it's just, we're just doing this, right? You're just doing that. Or Joe's going like that, or we're singing, or whatever. Like,
But it's.
oh my God,
comes out
it's
from the
everything.
soul.
I
Comes
know.
up
It's
Yeah, it does.
incredible.
It comes out from the soul.
From
Well, what's like you said, when you go watch Joni play somewhere, say at Princeton or wherever, you see that come across off the stage.
Yeah,
you see the
for
music
sure.
come out, like she said, out of your soul and expression, and
Yeah.
people like that kind of stuff. That's what they come to see.
Yeah,
the
they want to
perform-
feel something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because a lot of when you say that, especially nowadays, you try to block half that stuff out because you can only take so much negativity in the world,
That's true.
and you're just kind of going like, oh gosh. That's like if I go home, like after last night we rehearsed and wrote a new tune and stuff, and we were all feeling good, and so we went for a bite to eat, and we were all talking, and then fine, then I get home, turn the TV on for half an hour just to relax, unwind.
Oh, it's bumming.
And I'm going like,
It's
what, I
bumming,
can't
man.
take this.
You know what's
Put the
funny?
blanket over my head, and said, looked at my cat, and says, go to sleep, because I'm going to sleep.
My first memory of TV is, oh, there's a Cybertruck. Looking good, buddy. My first memories of TV were Watergate, because it would preempt the cartoons after school. So that was going on. Vietnam War was going on.
Oh, yes.
Those are my first thoughts of like politics that I understood, the politics. And then whatever, and life is la la la, and whatever it was. And then I think about the way the world reacted to that, and then the way the world's reacting now. It feels like everybody just kind of.
I see footage of thousands of people out in the street
Right now,
in the
yeah.
U.S.
I guess I'm thinking more musically.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe there isn't an outlet for protest music like there used to be.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I mean, I don't want to get all political, but I'm just thinking
But
about the
music,
way that we feel
that's a
about
good
it, right?
point. That's a good point. I don't think, I think music is more right now what we sort of just said. I don't know, that is my opinion, I don't know what you guys think. I think the music is more nowadays, like I said, it's more of an escape for people because it's a happier thing. It's a more pleasant thing to have, like in your mind, in your body, in your soul, to go somewhere or be around people that are playing music because it gives you that pleasure of just at that moment in time that you're enjoying yourself.
Although-
I'm not trying to say it's a good thing or bad thing.
No, I dig
I think it's a good thing.
On Friday, when we were at the Brighton and we were watching James Michael Lind, and
Yeah.
he played Fortunate Son.
Yeah.
That bar erupted.
Well, that
People
song,
were
that,
screaming
yeah,
it,
that's a good
right?
song.
So yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's a good
there, it's also, it's more us than the kids for sure in that place.
Yeah, but I think that's just you're right. See, that's a form of expression. Everybody's enjoying themselves, and I think back in the days when they would protest about and have the expression for the music for the youth because they felt so threatened.
Yeah.
You know, I know. Like when you talk about that kind of stuff, I remember I used to go to Birch Bay, talk about the States. My parents used to have a cabin in Birch Bay, and our families would go down to Birch Bay. And we would go for like 2 or 3 weeks in the summer, we'd go down there.
Nice.
And I would work at a riding stable. I met a lady there, she owned horses, and she had a riding
Nice.
stable. And so I says, can I hang out and you show me the ropes and you don't pay me nothing, I'll take the trail rides out. I love being around the animals, right? And she goes, yeah, no problem. She showed me how to do everything. I loved it. And anyway, but long story short, you know, the thing is that you go down there and I would meet people, young guys, especially friends, and you know, you hang out with, talk to. Back then, we would still party a little bit. We were teenagers, young teenagers.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, they wouldn't come. You come back the next summer, they weren't there anymore.
Yeah,
Because they
right.
got drafted.
They got drafted, they died, got killed.
Yeah, no, like.
And it was really
what
freaky.
a pressure for
What a pressure.
teenager
Yeah,
to
yeah.
be thinking
Oh, I
about.
wonder. I bet that was the thing, man.
It was very much
People were
so.
dying.
Yeah, your neighbors, your friends, your family members
Yeah,
are
dude.
dying.
Yeah,
And
man.
so I would go down there and you'd go like to this cabin where we stayed. And you know, they were called the Dorn. I think their name, the last name of the people were called the Dorns. And the Dorns were really nice people. They had these beautiful cabins, like about 50 of them, like really
Sweet.
a nice area. And they had, what I loved about it, it was that they had a corner store, you know, right there where the cabins all were, and they had a soda pop stand.
Yeah.
And they had the old soda pop stuff, you know, that you could push and stuff. They had a jukebox in the corner. It was just like right out of the 50s movies. And it was great. You go there as a kid and what do you want? I want a Coke float. And they make a big scoops of ice cream and pop and, you know, candy. They had candy. And you're listening to Chuck Berry or the Beatles on the thing. And then, you know, you'd hang out with all these people, and then like the Dorns, 2 of their sons got drafted and one died, right? You know,
Yeah,
it was really
That's the
sad.
difference,
But when they come back, they're not the same.
Yeah, they're not the same.
They're
No,
never the same.
no, not after
Yeah.
something trauma like that. No,
No way.
no, I know. It's amazing. So I guess that's my thought is that, you know, they were more threatened. Where people now are not as threatened, it's more of a stress level for them now. I
Yeah,
think.
right.
I think people take it more on internally, and I think they get
It's also a
stressed.
different game. I mean, fuck, now we're talking about war, but it's all drones and somebody's sitting in Houston and bombing Yemen or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's too much. Now let's get back to the music.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get back to the music.
Back to the music, folks.
What's your favorite guitar chord?
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
It's I hate
F
Reagan.
major 7.
So what got you playing bass? That's what I want.
Well,
You're a very good bass
You're a
player.
very good player.
Yeah.
meeting Vince Eastman had a lot to do with it.
Okay.
Because, you know, I was playing with the bass. I was basically playing guitar and singing my songs. I was messing around with the bass. I got together with him, and his guitar playing was so superior that I thought, geez, I better do something useful.
Yeah, he was a really good
He,
guitar player.
he was completely dedicated.
Yeah.
And so that's when I got serious about the bass.
Right on.
And,
You got good. You're a really good bass player.
well, thank you. You
You
know,
really
I love the bass.
There's only two ladies that I know play really good bass. It's Jody. I mean, not anybody else. Jody and Patty. Peggy who plays in the.
Pam Dominelli.
Yeah. Oh
You
yes.
remember?
Yeah, I haven't met her, but I heard about her.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a whole network of for real women musicians. Every now and then we all get
There's a
together.
whole bunch of for
We
real.
gotta do a show like that.
Yeah.
Can we
Hey,
get?
that would be awesome
I did
to
do a
get
show
everybody
like that.
together at the tiki bar, just all,
Yeah, the tiki
Girls.
girls, we're gonna go, yeah.
that would be dope.
I did that before the pandemic. I organized a show at the Fairview Pub.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
It
well,
was called Women Play the Blues.
real dope.
And all of these women who I know, like they came from Maple Ridge in the US,
Gross.
and they all gave up a Saturday night to come together and play a benefit concert.
Pro.
It was wonderful.
Wow.
And, you know, I wanted to make it an annual event, and then the
And we-
pandemic
Yeah,
happened.
yeah.
And,
Unreal.
but yeah, it was a great night.
That would be, well, I mean,
I find that like,
it would be cool to listen to everybody jam. I would love to hear everybody's stories.
I would too, because Peggy wants to do,
'Cause that-
Peggy wants to do one where she wants the women to get together, she was talking
That'd be dope.
about. It's just,
Yep.
I like to do when we can all sit down and talk. Because I said,
Maybe you
because
and I
Peggy,
sit that one out.
well, we'll let them talk, we'll just turn on the cameras and let them roll.
That would be dope.
Because I think that's cool with me, because I think that, being in the industry a long time, and all of us being in the industry, I admire women when they're, I've had in my band the last 10 years, I've had 2 women playing in my
Do
band.
you think it's
I've had
easier now?
singers, or I've had players, and
Joni?
What's that?
Do you think it's easier now?
I don't think it's changed.
It's not that different,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah, I
like,
don't think it's changed. The
there-
scene
there's
hasn't,
still not a lot of us. You know, I wanted to have an
Why?
all-women's band when I was first in Vancouver,
Sure.
and there was a group of us who practiced for a
In
while
punk rock, there
in
was, there
the
was
garage
She,
of where I lived.
Bombshells, the Donnas. I remember a bunch. But anyway,
But anyway, we never got to the performance stage. It's
Right.
like
Why
this
so?
well, the drummer I thought was kind of the glue of the band, and she decided to go to Africa or something and do good works.
see, that's.
okay,
And
but
then
I don't. Okay, so Joni.
Yeah.
I don't mean you specifically, but I mean generally. Why do you think less women dig it? Like it because I mean societally, it isn't like hold my jacket, I'm gonna go slam dance anymore, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like women have a lot more power in the young women right now have more power than they've ever had in their lives, I think.
You
Like
think?
when
I'm
I
not too
when I
sure
think
about
about
that.
my daughter, when I think about Jasmine, those girls are powerhouses, man, like forces of nature, going out and taking.
I think it's
the
always
world.
been like that.
But
Yeah,
you know,
maybe, I don't know.
to be a musician, you have to be
That's a
willing
different
to be a nerd. It's like you got to sit in your room for
And
a
to-
long time.
Yes, yeah.
You know, and
I was
and
thinking
some
about that too.
women don't want to do that.
You have to
They
do
don't
two
wanna
things. You have to be, like you're saying, you have to just geek out on this thing,
Yeah.
Yep, yep,
and you have to go out and be tough
yep.
Yeah.
in the world.
Yeah.
It's
so
tough. It's a tough
It's
tool.
a very particular
Right.
thing. Yeah.
It is tough. I mean, you know, like I said, I had,
Some of the toughest people I know are women, though. Anyway, I don't know.
but
I
it's
don't know.
different, it's what Jody said, it's different when you're, you know, you have to get yourself in the room and work on your craft.
Yeah.
And then, and you've gotta wanna do that a lot.
Yeah,
Like, I mean,
yes.
I've had, you know, I had one lady in my band, I can't name her name, I won't name her name. And she played in my band for about 5 years. Super talented. And,
Oh,
and she sang super well and played super well, but she just didn't give, she wasn't disciplined enough, you know, she'd like record a song and you know, everybody goes like, holy smoke, like, you know, and then she'd come over and she'd go, how did you guys make me sound so good? Well, you know, the producer Bill knows what you want to do. He's got a good idea how to arrange your voice and know, and make sure you hit the right notes in the right places. He knows what to do with you, you know, and because he gets inside your head.
to be
He
fair
can see-
though, I hear what you're saying, absolutely. To be
You have
fair
to be
though,
disciplined. It's
no,
what-
for sure. But I've known a lot of dudes who are just not disciplined and can't do it. But there's so many guys who want to do it.
Yeah, but see, that's just society and
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about.
But you know, there's some people who are really good at it and some people who are just doing it.
Yeah, I just
Mhm.
I wasn't that good. I just like it.
No, it's you gotta want it.
Yeah, you gotta really want it.
Yeah, you gotta really.
You gotta need it.
Yeah, you do. You really
need it.
Need it.
That's cool.
You gotta need it and you gotta want it. It's something, like I said, that's it. The girl that I had, she was really good, right? And she just didn't want to put the time in. Like Joni said, she didn't want to put the time in. And so when she didn't put the time in, it showed. But she had immense songwriting skills. She was really good, and that's why I had her playing the band, because I said, look, let's make this work, because you got talent. And I enjoy working with you. It's a good energy. And she had that, but she could not finish. She couldn't finish. She didn't want to discipline herself and work hard at it. You know, it got to the point sometimes where you go in and sing and play, and she'd go like, "Oh, don't worry, they'll fix it in the mix." Like, you know, and because her attitude had, you know what I mean? Like she lost that drive. You know, at some point she had it, and then it just kind of disappeared. And that's just because
I never thought about that geek part, you know?
it's
Well,
true.
it's true.
Yeah.
You know?
It's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're alone in your room a lot. You know, it's like that Brian Wilson song.
Oh, maybe girls aren't as alone. They have homies, maybe.
Maybe. Could be.
Because, like, I think about Winnipeg. They push out a lot of killer musicians.
Yeah, it's 'cause it's
because
cold.
it's terrible there. And you just have to stay inside. Oh, what am I going to do? I guess I'll play with this thing.
Yeah.
Brian Wilson, like from the Beach Boys, they wrote that one song, right?
In my room.
In my room, and that I hear that song and I go like, yeah,
Yeah, right.
I can relate to that 100%.
Everybody. No,
Yeah.
we all can.
Yeah, we can relate to that kind of thing, right? Because he's creatively thinking in his room what how he's going to accomplish that piece, that music that he's trying to write, you know.
Yeah.
And that's a perfect example of how I think we all kind of aspire, right?
Yeah, I just want to say I'm thinking about the women who really inspired me.
Oh, wow, yeah.
People like Bonnie Raitt.
Yes.
Ellen McElwain.
Yes.
Joni Mitchell.
Oh, Joni Mitchell, yeah.
You know.
BC.
Yeah.
There were women out there who made you want to keep
That's
going.
like Al Harlow said that one last interview.
Yeah.
Al Harlow says Joni Mitchell, he lives on the Sunshine Coast. Joni has a place on Sunshine Coast. So he goes, he was in the coffee shop and Joni Mitchell he just missed her. And he goes, I said, so Al, would you go up and say hello? He said, yes, I would have. he said, I would have introduced myself. I said, yeah, I can see, because he's one of those guys that sort of bumps into all these these celebrity, or these big artists, right? And so, yeah, I thought, yeah, Joni Mitchell is a perfect example of all that.
But Joni Miller, what's the coolest band you've ever seen? What's the best show you've ever seen?
John Prine is one of the best shows that I ever saw.
I've heard
Where
nothing
was
but
that?
good stuff.
It was in one of those mid-sized theaters. I can't remember the exact name, but I went because I thought he's a legend. You know, you got to see him once in your life. I didn't know a ton about him, and I was blown away by the show.
Really?
It was so good. His backup musicians were so good, and I saw him play with the same guys right up until the end.
Right.
And that really impressed me.
That's cool, yeah.
You know, like that says something to me about the character.
He is really
Integrity, yeah.
And you know what? That's not the only artist that I know that's gone and seen him and said John Prine was one of their favorite shows.
It was so much fun.
Wow.
And Jonathan, this guy who backed him up, who played every stringed instrument under the sun.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right, first show.
Pink Floyd.
Oh,
The Amagama tour.
Amagama!
In Calgary.
Damn.
I think I saw that show too.
When would that have been?
Well, 70s.
Yes,
like 1970s.
That's when I saw them too. I saw them here at the Coliseum.
Amagama tour?
No, in the Gardens, yeah.
Yeah.
That was my first Pink Floyd show.
Yeah.
I never saw them after that. That was the only one I saw, which was sad. But I went and saw them there, and they were incredible.
Yeah, it was amazing, and
Quad sound. They had quad sound in the building.
Oh, that was new, right?
Yeah. Quad sound. Yes. So how was that overall?
it was, you know, I didn't know anything about them, but you know, a buddy of mine in high school, like, he knew about all this stuff, so
Yeah.
he got us going to the concerts.
Good.
Sell you weed.
Probably. Don't tell my parents, you know.
That's
It
great.
wasn't weed.
We're not naming names.
It was
Not naming names, no
Not
taking
naming
names.
names.
So anyways, where are you playing coming up, so we know?
Oh, yeah.
Let's plug that.
We're at the Princeton.
Princeton.
We love you, Princeton.
May 21st.
Danny.
And then we're back at the Brighton, May 23rd.
Cool.
And then in June, we'll be right out there on the plaza.
Yeah, you're gonna be on the plaza.
Kamloops and Hastings,
Yes.
We should
Saturdays,
run out there
1 to
with our
3.
cameras and talk to you
Yes,
guys.
that's
Yeah,
for sure.
you should.
That would be cool,
That would be a good one, actually.
right?
We can sit down and watch, film the band and talk to the band.
That'd be fun.
Would that be cool with you?
I think,
That'd
yeah.
be cool with me.
That'd be
Okay,
cool
good.
with us.
Okay, everybody, this is Jody.
It's Joni.
Joni.
You're Jody, I screwed up. Izzy, I think.
I think I'm Ash.
I think so. This is the Red Couch.
Thanks for coming to the barber shop. We love every single one of you. Bye. Thank you, Joni.
Oh,